Oh yeah, facts. No, I'm not. Can't nobody compare me to nobody. And this is like, it's a time and place for everything. And I don't mean to sound cocky, but nobody can compare me to anybody that makes music right now. I'm in my own lane. I've never got compared to anybody that's heard my music thus far, so I feel like I'm doing something right. And no.
I done came far as shit, but ain't far as I'm about to get. She ain't let me hit, but she ain't shit the shit I'm about to hit. Same ones on my dick that didn't think I would amount to it. Now they pay for shows, they send that bag and then I count through it.
Malcom Orlandis, that's my real name. And if you look in my Instagram bio, you'll see I just recently added the 03X because I'm a third generation. My dad's name's Malcolm, and my father's name's Malcolm, and I'm a Malcolm. So that's where the three come from, 3 times, third generation. And Orlandis is my middle name. My last name is McCann. So Malcom Orlandis McCann, but I just went with the Malcom Orlandis because I feel like it goes better together. I made music my whole life. So I started in the 4th grade, honestly. Was the first time I ever like sang a song. So I found that I could sing before I could do anything. And it's funny, I started taking it serious around the 6th grade. And I remember this because I was in 6th grade, I had this girl I used to like. And I remember we was talking on the phone one night, and I can't remember how like the conversation went, but I remember her saying like, I like guys that can sing. So me, I'm like, hey, I can sing, like what you talking about, like, or whatever. So I sang this Chris Brown song, the Chris Brown song With You. I sang it, and then like that was just me like messing around, like just saying I could do it, just try and get the girl or whatever. But like when I started to do it, to me, I thought I was like, damn, like sound good. And then like I went and sang it to my mom. I was like, wait, check this out. Like, I'm singing or whatever. And then my mom was like, damn, like, it sounds good. So then that's when everybody found out I had somewhat of like a real talent with like music. But I started out singing, and then like the rapping just came. I don't know, like it just came out of nowhere. Chris Brown was my first inspiration, yeah, to make music, to do it all. Like I used to dance at one point. I stopped doing that. But yeah, like Chris Brown was my first I got a lot of inspiration now because like as time went on, like new people started to make music, but like he was the first person to make me want to make music. The feeling I get when I'm making something, and in the middle of making it, like the creative thought, like because people always ask me like what do I think about when I write songs, and I honestly can't answer that question. Like because sometimes like I write songs without beats, and like sometimes I write songs with beats. So it's like I'll just be thinking about something. I'll have a topic in my head, and then like a million different things will come to my head, and then my mind will go blank, and then I'll just start writing stuff. So I can't really like, I don't know it just all comes, and then at the end I'm just looking at it like I have this type of thing. So I like the feeling I have in the middle of writing the music. And then, like, obviously recording it is good, but I like the writing process of making music. Because that's before everything starts. It's like you write the song first, and that's where it starts. And then, like, you have the feeling of, like, oh, I just wrote this banger, or however you want to call it. Like, it's writing it. So, yeah. Like, most of the music I have for 2020 unreleased, I wrote without a beat. Like, you're going to hear a song called Shots come out in 2020. I wrote that without a beat. I'm shooting a video for a song called Far Today. I wrote that without a beat. If I don't have a beat to write a song with, I'll just write it without a beat, and I'll kind of like make a beat in my head, and then I'll go fit something that fits what I started in my head. Or if I have the beat, I'll just write to the beat. But
so talk more about that difference in your creative process when you're writing music with a beat and without.
Me personally, I think for me, I think it's easier for me to write without a beat because if I'm making the beat in my head, and I don't really have to go with what something sounds like, because I feel like you have to, when you're listening to a beat, you kind of got to go off whatever the emotion of that beat is. And sometimes I don't like that. So I think personally for me, it's easier to write without a beat because I can make everything myself. Even if I'm making the beat in my head, I can still make it myself. And I think that way the lyrics come easier because everything is me everything is my emotion instead of trying to go off an emotion of whatever another beat is. So I like the process of me writing the song first and then figuring everything else after, rather than like writing to a beat. Yeah. See, that's like I can name something I don't like, but I wouldn't change anything because that's just how it goes. You know what I mean? No matter some people might call like music favoritism, or like this person makes it because they're popular, but you can't. That's the whole purpose of music. Making music and doing things like this isn't something that's normal. A 9 to 5 is normal. You see what I mean? Like, so you can't tell somebody how to feel when this is all feeling. Music is feeling. Everything that's based around this entertainment is feeling. So it's like, I wouldn't change anything, because the hardest part of making music isn't making the music. It's making the music and then putting it out and trying to win people over to believe whatever you're trying to distribute. So you know what I mean? So it's like, I wouldn't necessarily, I would change anything. I don't like, me personally, I don't like people. Like, I don't like the attitudes of some of the people in the positions they're in. Not anything like with the music itself. I'm not a person of ego, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't like some of the people I like in the music industry. I like them as a whole, but like, I pick and choose like certain things I like about like artists and like what they do, because I'm the type of person, I have to like you as a person before me to even take it a step further for anything else. Like, whether like you make music or anything, I have to like you as a person for me to respect that. So sometimes like, I don't like the egos of other people that like make music, you know, like I wouldn't necessarily, it's a time and place for everything. So like, I would say you don't always have to be humble, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you can be proud of what you do, but like, sometimes I think people like take stuff too far. So it's like, I don't like that. But anything that deals with music, like, it is what it is. Like, that's the music industry. I like the challenge. It gets frustrating, but I wouldn't change it, because in the end, when you accomplish all that, it's like, anything you do, like any sport, boxing, like, it's hard, but like, once you accomplish the goals you have set out, it's all worth it. Anybody in my situation, like, I'm from Chicago, for anybody that don't know. I was born on the south side of Chicago, stayed there for a little bit, and then my mom moved 30 minutes out to a suburb, which still wasn't the best place in the world to live. So, I mean, anybody in my situation could relate to, like, I mean, we all go through the same struggles, being in the situation that I'm in, if you are in the situation that I was in, but like, it's all about, everybody's household's different, you know what I mean? So like, everybody's situation is different. Even though like, we all kind of go through the same things, it's still different. So it's like, pretty much about how things affect you. Like, I grew up in the, you know, mom, dad split, you know, that's like things that a lot of people go through. But then there's other things that I've been through, like, you know, like, just like, it's a lot of violence where I'm from. You know what I mean? Like, seeing things, doing things, like, it was anybody from anybody from the hood could relate, you know what I mean? Like, just shit like that. I was blessed to be in the situation that I'm in right now. When I got to a point where I probably wouldn't have been on this path if it wasn't for my mother. She kicked me out when I was a kid, and made me move here because of some of the situations I was getting in as a kid. So if it wasn't for her and making that decision to kick me out of the house, leaving Chicago, I probably, who knows, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm a completely different person now, so I can't even think back or even imagine what could have happened if I wasn't in a situation and had the mindset that I have now, because me being the age I am now and doing what I did then, I know, like, you know, just a lot of ignorant stuff. Like, you're not mature, like, you don't have anybody around you that's mature, just a whole fucked up environment. Like, it's not, like, I'm just blessed, you know what I mean? I think people get, like, the wrong impression, because, like, I'll say I'm from Chicago, and I feel like when people hear, like, you only know, like, what you know about Chicago from the social media, and everybody thinks that Chicago's bad, which it is, but just because I say I'm from Chicago, I feel like people automatically go to one thing. Oh, he's from Chicago, he has to be this way. And I'm not like, you are like, I don't want to say 100%, but like you're 50% of the environment that you grew up in. But I feel like I was always a little different, you know what I mean? Like some things you're forced to do because of the way you live and the surroundings that you're in. But like, I always knew I wanted something better for myself. I always knew that I wanted to be something, or like not necessarily be how I'm seeing everybody else, you know what I mean? Like just have something for myself. But it was hard to like see that through because of the environment that I was in. So I'm just happy that I got here to be clear to have a clear head and do things clearly, because I will say it's harder for, like, I don't know about where anybody else is from, but where I'm from, it's hard to do things and be something with all the challenges of what life has where I'm from in the way, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah. Yeah, Corey's a big part of, like, I look at him and I think to myself, shout out to WAVECHANGE, shout out to 908, my boy, my brother for life. I look at him and I think, like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, just 2 years ago, he was just starting out, not necessarily starting out, but just, you know, shooting videos for Flex. Shout out to my boy Flex, and just doing his thing. And now, like, 2 years later, you kind of gotta like put respect on his name, type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to look at, like, and the thing is, it takes people a long time to accomplish like some of these things that he's done. You know what I mean? Like, so just to see like how things can really play out for me, for somebody I know personally, is crazy. Like, and that's even more motivation, like, for me, you know what I mean? So it's like, when you really take everything and look at it firsthand, it's like, your life could change like that. You know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why I don't ever give up, even sometimes with the frustration. I'll reverse it and I'll just use it as more motivation. And 2020, I didn't come to play games. Yeah, I've been arrested a lot.
What's that like?
It was the worst thing that's happened to me thus far from my life. I mean, I went to jail for 6 days, and those 6 days felt like 6 years. Other than that, like, I've been arrested a lot and like just like released, you know what I mean? But like just recently, I got arrested and I went to jail, type of thing. So like those 6 days, I learned a lot. It doesn't matter. I don't care what nobody say. You can't judge me, because, you know, like, somebody will probably see this interview and be like, oh, he bitching, he went to jail for. Nah, you can't. If you haven't been through it, or if you ain't ever got put in that situation, you can't speak on it. You know what I mean? Like, in my personal experience, like, I just seen a lot of lives like wasted, type of thing. You know, a lot of people in real life fucked up situations, and I learned a lot. It was probably one of the worst and best things that could have ever happened to me, because if you're asking like what they don't get to see on the internet, what you might not know about me is, from what you see on the internet, is I have a really, really bad temper. I have a really bad temper that that's made me lose relationships with people. That's fucked up a lot of things in my life. But it's also something I can't help that I'm working on. You know what I mean? So it's like, going to jail, I realized that you gotta pick and choose, you know what I mean? Like, your battles with things. Everything doesn't need a response. And I realized, not that I ever thought this, but I don't have to prove anything to anybody, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to convince anybody that I'm a certain type of way or nothing, you know what I mean? I could just be who I am. And in the end, I want to be somebody that reaches a level that's iconic, you know what I mean? And I've come to realize that you can't do certain things, or you'll never amount to certain things if you have certain tendencies, you know what I mean? Or certain things holding you back. And one of them in life is anger. Right now, smaller goals, like, I want my social media to grow. I have a manager actually. Shout out to my boy Corbin. He's in Arizona. He does a really good job at what he does, and he just boosts social media and targets certain people and certain things for people to see you and just pretty much make your social media grow overall. He's made my Twitter grow a lot. He's brought light to my Instagram, so shout out to my boy Corbin. Smaller goals, I want my Instagram to grow, all of my social media, but I do most of what I do on my Instagram, so I want my Instagram to grow to 10,000. I just gained 300 followers over the past couple of days, so I'm on the right route to doing that. Bigger goals, I want to do a big show for 2020. Whether it's my show or I'm opening up for somebody, like I want to do a big show for 2020. So that's on my list of goals. Getting a big production music video, which will obviously be shot by WAVECHANGE. That's one of my list of goals for 2020. I have a pretty particular catalog that I'm working on. So how I plan to do music for 2020, I'm gonna release a big project, and that'll be the project for the year. And in between me working on that project, which I'm already working on, I'm gonna release singles here and there. I'll probably release a song a month. Take everything that I have at hand and pick the best songs from that, and those will be the songs that have the videos to them outside of me working on the big project that I'm gonna work on for 2020. And I already have an idea of how I want everything to sound and the sound that I'm going for. I kind of changed everything recently about how I want to go about things. Not necessarily how I want to be viewed, but like how I want to go about things, my sound. I changed it. So you guys can look forward to that. I have clothing that I plan to work on and release sometime this year. Like actual clothes, like not like the merch. Like I'm into fashion, so I'm getting things going with that. Just there's a lot of stuff that I had to fit in a year, but I'm gonna get it done. So it's gonna be lit. It's your boy Malcom Orlandis, and y'all are rocking with rebleTV.
I done came far as shit, but ain't far as I'm about to get. She ain't let me hit, but she ain't shit the shit I'm about to hit. Same ones on my dick that didn't think I would amount to it. Now they pay for shows, they send that bag and then I count through it. You was moving funny, now who look like a joke. And yeah, I hear you talking bread, but what's the crumb to a loaf? And I can't choose between these bitches, might as well hit them both. And I can't lose, so I be grinding, now I'm seeing my growth.